Hi everyone! I wanted to film a fun little video about the apps and programs that I like to use on my phone, iPad, and computer to keep me productive and keep me accountable for 2021. So let's dive right in. So let's start on the phone. So this is just my homepage, and I use an app called Widgetsmith to create these customized widgets. So you can change the color and the font, and I have an analog clock at the top just for aesthetics. I don't use it to tell the time. And then my 4 common apps: photos, camera, punch, and phone. So punch is for me to punch into work. So next semester I'm going to be working part-time and doing classes, which is why these apps are going to be so important for me. So going into productivity, the first app is Woven. So Woven is a really cool calendar app that helps you integrate multiple accounts from multiple platforms into one place. So I use Google Calendar for all of my personal events and meetings, but my school uses Outlook, and so does my work. So in order for everything to be in one place, I use this app to see all my calendar events together. Another really cool thing about Woven is that you can see how you're spending your time with the analytics section. So with analytics, you can tag your own parameters, or it can just tell you how much time you're spending in meetings, how many events you have, how many minutes of unscheduled time you have. So a certain amount of time that you don't have any events going on, that counts as focus time. And then how many hours or minutes you're spending on video calls. So I also have my own tags for specific organizations that I'm a part of, as well as me time. So I like to just keep track of how I'm spending my time, if I'm spending time with friends and family, etc. Another cool thing about Woven is that you can set up appointment calendars, so you can have people request time to spend with you, which is pretty cool. So then next, of course, I have Gmail and Outlook to check my email. And then I actually use Notes as my primary note taker, just for quick ideas or to jot something down. I know there's a lot of other cool apps out there, but I just like Notes because it's simple and easy and quick. And then all the rest are pretty straightforward. So this is my kind of social media page, and at the top I have the rotating panel of widgets. And usually the first one is photos, and I really like looking back at old memories, and sometimes like a really fun memory will come up and it's just really funny to look back at, so it's a lot of fun. And then I actually customize these shortcut covers for my social media on purpose to blend in with the background, so I'm less inclined to click on the icons. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then I track my steps, and then I also have a world clock right on here, just because I have a lot of family and friends overseas, so I like to keep track of when I can talk to them, when I can call them, etc. And then this last slide is kind of my wellness slide, I guess, or page, and I only recently added this in the last week. And so the top one is an app called Motivation. And the cool thing about this one is that it comes in a widget, but it also sends you a certain amount of motivational quotes or boosters throughout the day. And you can choose how many to receive in the day, what times they send them to you. So I have them from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and what types of quotes they're sending you. So it could be about working out, it could be about confidence, it could be about mental health. There's a lot of different options. And then you can also customize the background that shows on your homepage, which is really cool. So to go into these apps, so Routines is the app that comes with the Care of vitamin packs, and I can talk about that another time. But here you can see there's a separate tab for morning routine and evening routine. And so you can tick off what you do as you do them, and the ones that have a little streak means I've done it for the last few days, which is cool. And then at the bottom, there's an option to reflect. So in the morning, it'll reflect on how well rested you feel, or if you're ready to take on the day. And then the evening one reflects on kind of how the day felt for you. Did you feel like you could process everything, or were you productive? That kind of thing. And then at the end of the week, they give you a little summary of how you were throughout the week, whether certain habits helped you feel more energized, and they kind of compile how you were feeling based on your reflections versus the habits that you completed. And they'll tell you, oh, you were more energized when you did a workout in the day, or you felt more tired when you didn't meditate at night, or something like that. So that's a pretty cool feature, and I really like to track my kind of smaller habits that don't really constitute for a to-do in my planner. So next is Headspace, and I like to use this every now and then to just do a quick meditation. So first they have like the home page, and it's just general meditation tips for the day. And then Meditate has courses or quick meditations that you can do. And there's also a really cool feature where there's a live meditation. So you can't really interact with anyone else, but it is a live session that you can all do together. And then the sleep feature is actually the one I use the most. So it's kind of like a sleep cast, and they lead you through a short meditation in the beginning, and then they tell you a story or describe a scene. And my favorite one is called Pooch Palace, and they describe a dog hotel where all the dogs are settling down for the night and they're relaxing, and it helps me relax and wind down for sleep. And then something else that's a little bit unexpected for a meditation app is that they have workouts on here. So they have long workouts, short workouts, and they're really good for energizing and kind of giving you a good boost for the day. And then lastly, there's a focus section that has music, exercises, or videos to help you kind of focus on your work or your schoolwork. So next is BetterHelp, and BetterHelp is an online therapy app, and I really like using online therapy because I get to chat with my therapist at any point in the day. So something I struggled with in-person therapy was that I would forget what happened throughout the week, and I wouldn't know what to tell my therapist. I would just sit there and be like, oh yeah, I think this week was good. That's pretty much it. So I like having the option to tell my therapist something in the moment that I'm feeling it, and then wait for her to reply whenever she can, which is usually very quick. Another cool feature is that you can video chat or video call your therapist at any time or at scheduled times whenever you need to, so that's pretty cool. So the last app on this page is the Sleep Watch. So I wear my Apple Watch to sleep, and I like to track my habits and how I sleep because I've always had problems sleeping as a kid, and so having this be able to track my activity throughout the night is pretty cool. So basically it tells you when you sleep and when you wake up, and then you can look throughout the night and see when you had restful sleep or light sleep, and then you can also see your heart rate, which is pretty cool. And another thing is that they give you statistics if you constantly record your sleep every night, and it gives you statistics about your sleep patterns, whether your sleep rhythm is good, your sleeping heart rate, and then you can also tag specific things that you did throughout the day or sleeping conditions, so it helps you keep in mind what is contributing to a good night's rest or a bad night's rest, which is pretty cool. So that's everything that I use on my phone. I keep everything else in the app library just so it's not cluttered on my home screen, and it helps like keep a clearer mind and it's not as overwhelming. Okay, so now let's move on to my iPad. I actually don't use too many apps on my iPad for now. This is my home page. It's obviously not as customized as my phone, but I do have the Today view on landscape mode, and it has the same motivation widget, which is really fun to look at. And then I just have the weather, battery, and again the photo widget, and this is actually from Hong Kong Disneyland. So in terms of apps, Slack is for communication among my organizations, my work, etc. And then the main thing that I use on here is GoodNotes. So obviously I use a passion planner, as you can see in my other video, and this is my spread from yesterday, and I like to use this to kind of just keep track of what I'm doing throughout the day, what I need to do, and then reflect at the end of the day as well. And then I also use my iPad as my primary note taker. So I take notes at co-op and also in class. So it's obviously not the most exciting layouts like you see in other YouTube videos, but what I love about GoodNotes is the ability to highlight PDFs. So I do a lot of readings in my major, and I get these PDFs that previously I would print out, highlight, and annotate. But with GoodNotes, I can save paper and I don't even have to print it out, and what I love about the highlight is that it goes behind the text. So even though this was like a random PDF that was not formatted for GoodNotes, it still detects where the text is, and then the highlight falls behind it. So that's really awesome. And then I can annotate whatever I need to in the margins, which is really fun. So then, of course, I have the iPad version of Woven, which is great. And then the only other app that I'm using a lot now is Procreate, and I use it to create my thumbnails. So it's really handy. I can use my handwriting to write on it and clip out images, photos, etc. So I really like using Procreate. Alright, so moving on to the computer. This is my desktop that you're looking at. And actually this background comes from Unsplash, which is a program where stock photography is uploaded, photographers upload their own photos, and you can use this to kind of scroll through and choose different backgrounds that you might like, and then you can just click set as wallpaper, which is pretty cool. And you can also download them, so I'm going to download this one because I like elephants. And then the first thing I wanted to show you is, of course, again, Woven on the desktop, which is awesome. But the other thing that I use the most on my desktop is actually Trello. So Trello is a program where you can track your tasks and your to-dos in a very interesting way. So this is a board, and this is my personal board. And these are called lists. And then within a list, you can have cards. So on these cards, there's a lot of features. So you can make a description, add comments if you're collaborating. This is also a really good collaborative tool because you can assign members, so who's going to do this task. You can create labels, and then you can also add a checklist. So it shows progress of how much of the task you've done, which is really awesome. So what I started doing is after I'm done with a task, I put a cover on it and then I move it to the bottom just to indicate that it's done, rather than deleting it, because I like to keep track of, like, you know, what I've completed, what I've accomplished, etc. So the next thing I wanted to show you is a program called Go for Gmail. So I actually downloaded this a while ago, and I've been told that it doesn't really work when you download it now, but I wanted to show it anyway. So essentially this looks exactly like Gmail, and the only difference is that it's a separate space for you to log into all of your accounts. So what I used to do was I had different tabs open for different accounts on different windows, and it was just like hard to keep track of where everything was, which window was for what, and I had a billion desktops, and it was just like a lot to keep track of. But with Go for Gmail, I can be on any one of my windows and it will show me my Gmail no matter where I am. And then I can just toggle between which accounts I need to see at any time. So that's really cool. The last thing I wanted to show was this extension on Google Chrome called Toby. So with Toby, it's essentially like another bookmarks bar, but it saves the tabs that you have opened. So let's say I have Facebook open, Gmail, and Google Photos, just arbitrary websites to show you. And then it's actually time to go to sleep and I want to shut everything down, but I want to save what I was browsing on. So all I have to do is click Save Session, and then it closes those tabs and keeps it in a little group. And then I can rename it however I want to. And I use this a lot, especially when I'm in classes, because I have like 10 tabs open for research and I just want to close them quickly and save them as resources later. And so I can just name it whatever I need to, and then I'll have it the next day. And then when you're done with it, you can just easily remove the collection and it will be gone forever. So that's really cool and fun. All right, so that is all I have for now. I'll be sure to link everything that I use in the description so that you can use it as well if you want to. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. I will definitely make more if I have more tools that I use throughout the year. But that's all I have for now. Thank you. Bye.